Salutations everybody, it is Matty here, and today we're talking about CD Projekt Red for the first time since the Jason Schreier expose dropped, highlighting some development troubles with Cyberpunk 2077. Well, some's putting it lightly. But anyway, right before that write-up came out, we had a video come from CD Projekt Red saying that they had a commitment to quality. And in that video, they highlighted multiple patches were making their way to the game, 2 within the next couple of weeks, one being smaller than the other. Today, we're talking about that little update, that baby step forward in a very long road to recovery. So we're going over the patch notes today. That'll be linked in the description down below. But speaking of under-delivering on quality, you're probably looking at me right now going, Matty, what is with the potato webcam? You look awful, brother. And I will agree with you. But we're overhauling the office right now. We're putting up new decorations. We're changing the background for the video. We're changing the lighting in here so it's a lot less harsh down on top of me, which is going to be great. It's going to make the video quality a lot better. So I can't wait for that. But of course, we need to have some time to overhaul all of that. So I appreciate all of you understanding. Also, didn't have much of a choice because guess what? You can kind of see right here, my SD card, it chips. So my camera won't even receive it. So I love chaos in my life. Man, I'm like CD Projekt Red. Let's go. But before any of that, because this game is Cyberpunk 2077, of course we have to talk about the newest in a game-breaking bug that has been introduced through this patch. I promise you all, myself and my editor were actually joking about this happening. We were like, imagine there's going to be more news that drops because it's never that simple with Cyberpunk. Like, here's a patch, here's the fixes. Of course, there's going to be more. And there was. So this patch presents its own set of issues. Something that, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I have talked about a lot on my channel, where it's not like Sea of Thieves, you know, you patch that hole in your ship and you walk away and forget about it. Nope, because this is the gaming Hydra, baby. You cut off one head, you get 2 more bugs when it comes to Cyberpunk. So in this case, the latest patch, according to Kotaku, has reportedly added a game-breaking bug. What is that bug? Let's read. Patch 1.1 addresses an issue in the mission down on the street where Takamura would not call, thereby preventing any progress in the mission. He'll call now, apparently, but then won't say a word. Some users say that reloading old saves or creating new save files doesn't fix it either. What's actually hilarious is I had this bug. I actually did have this bug. Now, it didn't break my game, but I did experience this bug, so something that was already present got worse through this patch. The article continues on to say that there's apparently one workaround, and get ready for one of the most wild workarounds I've seen. First, try to call Judy before Takamura calls, something that you can't control. When he does, hang up the line, then tackle a side job. The player who reported this workaround tackled the Delamain side quest. Wait 24 in-game hours, and Takamura should call in with dialogue and everything, allowing you to progress in Down on the Street. Okay, come on, man. This is ridiculous. I swear, this is exactly what I expected. It's why I said they're pushing back all of those free quests, all of those new game updates, and it's why this one is focusing on the framework for a technical level. It's why in this patch, while it is technically the biggest update Cyberpunk has seen, it's not overhauling systems in the game like a lot of us were hoping for, and I don't think that was a realistic early on expectation. I have bigger expectations for the next patch, which CD Projekt Red has said is huge, but we can only take their word so far. But yes, just know that with this brand new huge patch, there is another game-breaking bug that's coming with it. Upon testing the patch myself, I noticed when I was playing the game that I had a couple more visual bugs than I normally do. We can see one right here on screen now that's quite jarring. I've never experienced this one before. Also, I looked at a couple other YouTubers' videos, most notably was Juicehead, who had a couple more visual bugs as well. So this is something that you can expect when hopping back into the game, if you're hopping in at all. So with that, let's actually hop into the patch notes with the rest of the video I had recorded. So in this update, they say we focused on various stability improvements, which you can find outlined in the patch notes below. We will continue this work in patch 1.2, so do know that they're going to be focusing on bug fixes and stability improvements in that. At the same time, they want to keep fixing bugs we encounter and listening to our feedback on how to improve the overall game experience. So it begins with stability. Memory usage improvements in various systems within the game, such as characters, interactions, navigation, in-game videos such as news, TV, etc., foliage, laser effects, minimap, devices, AI, street traffic, environmental damage system, GPU related, and more. Also, various crash fixes related to, among others, loading saves, game opening / closing, and point of no return. Now, in that commitment to quality video, CD Projekt Red did cite that memory issues seemingly weren't a problem for the game. They talked about data streaming a lot, you know, so the things that you're seeing on screen, streaming in cars, the environmental foliage, effects, NPCs, all of that stuff. So seemingly this is a pretty important fix for the game, in my opinion. Is it going to fix it all? No, it's going to take some time, but still, something that they did cite in their video that seemingly is being improved. Now, they have a whole section dedicated to quests and open world. I got some feedback from some of my prior patch videos where some people are like, you don't got to read literally every single one of them here, but there are a lot of quest-related fixes. When it says open world, I thought this might be where we start to see things like the traffic fixes, of course, the wanted system being fixed, but it doesn't seem like it's in here right now. They're just talking about very specific quests and things that could happen within them that are now being fixed. Now, my heart jumped for a second at this one. The UI fix that I want more than anything is when you're going to loot a weapon and that item stays on the side of your damn screen forever until you look at another item and then it disappears. But in UI, they say they fixed an issue where it would prompt for exiting a brain dance, and that could be missing. And also, they removed an invalid item from loot. So it's not there. It's not what Matty was looking for, but still, you know, the thing is with all these bugs, like I read some of these bugs and I'm like, I never even saw these before, but everyone has such a wildly different experience with this game when it comes to bugs. So some bugs I've had, you probably didn't have, and vice versa. So it's good that that's being fixed. All right, let's move on to visuals. Fixed an issue where a grenade's trajectory could be displayed in photo mode. Interesting. Fixed particle hue appearing pink when viewed up close. Very interesting as well. And fixed cars spawning incorrectly in reported crime. Welcome to Night City. You see, the reason I like making these videos is, of course, you want the information, right? And I think that's very important. That's really the actual reason I do. But it's also very fascinating to see things that happen in game that you just may never see. Like particles hue appearing pink when viewed up close. Okay, well, that's a thing, I guess. There were also achievement glitches within Cyberpunk 2077. They said they fixed an issue where completing one of the assaults in progress in Santo Domingo would sometimes not contribute towards progression for the jungle achievement, preventing its completion. This is huge, man. There is nothing more infuriating than trophy and achievement glitches. I will stand by that. Like, I will deal with 2 FPS, but if your trophy ain't popping, what happened? There are also miscellaneous fixes. They address the issue responsible for saves getting oversized related to the modifier indicating if an item is crafted, and trim the excess size from the already existing saves. Note, this won't fix PC save files that were corrupted before 1.06 update. They also fixed an issue where input could stop registering upon opening the weapon wheel and performing the action. Lastly, they fixed an issue where the continue button in the main menu could load an endgame save. This is what I mean, man. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? Most significant one here is the save bug fix. This was something I dedicated a whole video to, right? There was a week where it was just bags of Cyberpunk info. It was this news update here, and it was this interview here, and it was this bug here. But this was a bug so, I think, insane, it deserved its own video, because people were just going to lose their save from playing the game. Even if they were enjoying it, having a good time, their save file could get corrupt. So they did address this. That is good. They did address it in a hot fix, but now they're addressing the issue of saves becoming oversized. They did say in the, I think it was on the GOG support site, that they weren't going to be able to recover saves, so that remains true here. So if your save was corrupted just from innocently playing the game, I do apologize, but fortunately that won't be an issue for people in the future. So you're on console. You're probably struggling the most out of everyone there. Let's talk PlayStation. There are PlayStation-specific fixes, such as performance optimization of crowds on PS4 Pro and PlayStation 5, as well as the very vague various crash fixes on PlayStation 4. I had to slow down my speech there because the very vague various, that's a tongue twister. Very vague various, very vague. I can't do it. I can't do it. But anyway, yeah, so there are some PlayStation-specific fixes here. That is pretty good. Crowds were a big problem in Cyberpunk 2077, where they would just tank your FPS. So that is something that is good there. Xbox-specific fixes have arrived as well. They improved the memory usage for character creation, mirrors, scanning, camera remote control, menus such as the inventory and map on Xbox One, One X, and One S. So what I'm getting the vibe from here is a lot of these fixes are going to be for the now last-gen consoles like the PS4 and the Xbox One, because they have their next-gen update coming very far down the line. And I think what they're going to do now that I'm starting to see the picture here and we're looking at these patch notes, is I think they're going to try to line up for some type of like next gen relaunch at the end of this year. And, you know, they're going to have a new box copy for the PS5 and the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X and S. And I think they're going to relaunch the whole thing and try to get people to sort of double dip. And so that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Anyway, also PC-specific fixes. It will now be possible to obtain achievements while in Steam offline mode. This is what I mean. This is the important stuff. The achievements, the trophies. These are priority number one. They do say note offline mode needs to be enabled before starting the game. This change does not work retroactively. Also, they addressed the game startup crashes relating to loading cache on NVIDIA graphics cards. Lastly, for, you know, all 5 of you, Stadia-specific fixes. All right. Concert audio should no longer be inaudible and never fade away. Fixed corrupted textures on several melee weapons. Tweaked default dead zones settings to be more responsive. Note, the change will not affect settings unless they are set to default. Yeah, so like I said, for all 5 of you out there using Stadia, there's your fix there. I'm sorry. I know that Stadia kind of got a W here with Cyberpunk, because when you're playing on PS4 or Xbox One, you're really getting an awful experience. For Stadia, it's fine, man. It's working solid. And that's pretty cool to see. But, you know, I just like to hand Stadia users their L's all the time because it's kind of funny. But I kid. You've taken your win today with Cyberpunk. So yeah, that is generally the patch notes here for CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is the smaller update compared to the larger one. They said that these two would launch pretty close to each other, and even put it out on a timeline, which you can see on screen here, where there are going to be various updates coming to the game. Now, these first 2 updates aren't going to be the last ones. There's going to be many more, because 2 patches just cannot fix everything that was wrong with this game on a technical level. But this is a first step forward. Sadly, from my personal experience with bugs and glitches dating back to my review, a lot of things that I had issues with still have not been fixed yet, and I'm sure that is the case for many people. For me, the most egregious one was really just the UI bugs, because on PC, there were simple ones like cars coming up from underground and people spawning in front of you and NPCs not really having a sense of direction and crowds disappearing, which had been sort of fixed. So there is a lot still there, like the popular issues that haven't been fixed yet, but this is a baby update in the scheme of things. Now, I do get a feeling that maybe patch 1.2, because they have emphasized this is a very big one, will be the one that has a lot of the things I'm talking about, from the UI to the crowds, all that stuff, and that could put the game in a good place moving forward into its future updates, where maybe then they could start to drop the free DLC that they had talked about. But for the time being, this is patch 1.1, and these are just some of my thoughts on it. For me, I sort of dialed back on playing Cyberpunk a little bit now, because it's one of those things where, you know, I've put like 80 hours into it. I've seen all the content pretty much, and so now I'm just waiting for the free DLC. So I've sort of dipped out of that as I play other games, but I'm excited to hop back into it when it comes to the free DLC and to test out these patches, of course. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, these are just my thoughts. I wanted to share them with all of you, share with you the update. Once again, it's linked in the description down below if you want to check it out. But with that all in mind, I will talk to all of you very soon, so be sure to go ahead and fire away in the comments down below with your thoughts on this. So with that, time for me to sign out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.